What's up, my Moon Tribe? I'm Hailing. Welcome back to Moon Tribe Tarot. These are general message readings. They are general, which means take what resonates and leave behind what does not. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, you can find all the information and the link is down below on how to get a hold of me. These are general messages. Take what resonates, leave behind what doesn't. From February 1st to the 5th, 2020. Let's dive right into it. 2 cards for what you need to know, 1 card of advice, and I did pull a card of clarity. We have the 6 of Pentacles and the 4 of Cups, what you need to know. The 7 of Cups for advice, and the 3 of Wands for additional advice and clarity. So this is a situation in which the scale here, this is an interesting spread. The scales here are on equal playing ground. There is a situation in which there is generosity, there's fairness. This card reads the 6 of Pentacles a little bit differently. The scales are definitely balanced. There is an equal give and take when it comes to giving out either finances or money or emotion. But the scales are balanced, but it's kind of a card of the haves and the have-nots. I like to think of this card as kind of almost like a welfare kind of thing, where the people who decide what to give are a little bit pompous, a little bit snooty. It does say that things here are balanced, but it does give a little bit of like that, a little bit snooty feeling. The 4 of Pentacles represents some sort of emotion that is not being fostered. It is kind of isolation and drawing back a bit. It represents that you have been out of the game for a pretty long time, for whoever this is, that you have been out of the game for a pretty good time, and now you're being offered emotion, and you're being a little bit pushed back in the sense that you don't really want to accept this kind of emotion. Even though things are balanced, I feel like anything further for you right now is not something that you want to do. I feel like it is... The 4 of Cups represents somebody that doesn't really have a good reason to say no to any kind of emotion. It's just that he might not be ready to give it out. But that's a little bit complicated because it does say that things here are balanced. When we have the 7 of Cups as advice, I gotta pull. I just did this and I need to pull again for what the 7 of Cups means for advice. Step back and get a larger view. Bring in some logic and rational analysis to give some perspective to your emotional responses. So I kind of get this. The 7 of Cups represents a lot of choices to be made, so I feel like you have a lot of choices, and for a lot of you, it might be a little bit overwhelming to you. The 3 of Wands of Clarity represents that you are going to go forth and kind of give that message out. I feel like you are going to be expecting something. You are going to put your resources out. It does end up with you reaching out to something. I get this type of card in a situation where, let's say, you apply for a job and you send out a job application. It is that period of from sending that application out to hearing back from it, that waiting to hear back. It's very similar to if you send a message to somebody that's very risky, like, hey, I've liked you for a really long time. Do you like me back? Do you want to go on a date? It's that waiting. It represents that waiting. The progress of the Wands has shown you that there is going to be success, and there's at least initial success, and that's where the 6 of Pentacles plays in. There is at least initial success here, but I feel like for a lot of you right now, you might be just a little bit hesitant, a little bit drawn back. I am going to ask why the hesitancy. I'm going to ask, why is the 4 of Cups here? Why is the 4 of Cups here in the spread? Okay. I feel like, okay, so I feel like a lot of you, are actually pretty, you are more attached to this situation than you are letting it be known. You definitely have lust in this situation for this person, and I feel like it is kind of that reason. The devil can represent addiction and alcohol, sex and money, but it doesn't always have to be a card about like literal drug addictions or being on heroin or crack or meth and being out in the streets shooting up dope. It can represent more of a lust thing, or that you're attracted to somebody or you're bound to something. So it is either that somebody has come in and they have given you emotion and you are being restricted because you have a lot of passion, and I feel like you might want to see where things go after the passion, after this kind of feeling plays off a little bit, or it is because the reason why you aren't fully giving your energy out is because there's a situation that somebody else might have your attention from the past. It could be like an ex kind of thing, where somebody else has your attention, and the reason why you aren't fully giving it your all is because you might still not be over your past, and you still might not be over something that happened that caused you this sort of addiction in the way that you are thinking. It does not have to even be a relationship. It could just be an addiction in the way that you're thinking, which I think is keeping you in hostage, is keeping you in bondage. The way that you are thinking, I don't feel is the correct way of doing it, which is why the Seven of Cups for advice says that you need to step back and look at things at a larger perspective. I feel like things are, for the most part, equal balanced. I feel like, for the most part, there is going to be offers. There is definitely going to be a period of time where you're going to be waiting to hear back from something, which indicates to me that you put in the effort to do something. I definitely see forward progress being made. I see that there's a lot of options to go. I do see you putting in forward progress at the end of the day, but I do see you a little bit stuck in what could have been chaining you to the past and the present. It's either a person or it's a past situation or it's an unhealthy way of thinking. But I do see you taking the steps necessary to kind of break from that. I do see you might be a little bit stubborn about this. I feel like you might be very slow and methodical about this. This might be a slow-moving thing, in which the Four of Cups needs time to be worked out to get the emotions fully harvesting. I do see you putting in the effort, or I do see the effort being put in general. There is going to be forward motion, there's going to be forward progress, and there's going to be a time of waiting and seeing where things go. So I definitely do feel like you at least want to see where this goes. For some of you, it is directly going to be you decide that you want to pursue this. For some of you, it is waiting to see if you want to pursue this. But for the overall spread, I feel like things here are, for the most part, balanced, except in your own head. I feel like once you figure out your demons and how to tame them, I feel like the Four of Cups will kind of almost reverse itself. I feel like you will be able to work out your demons when you figure out what those demons are and how to release them and how to think about the situation in a brand new perspective and to get brand new perspective from a situation. Because I feel like the route that you are in, you might be clouded with your idea of what the truth is. That might not necessarily be the full truth. This is for the oh shit. I was gonna say I buried it. This is for the star sign of Capricorn. So just keep all of that in mind. I feel like there's steady progress to be had here. I feel like it depends on you and where you want this to go. But keep that in mind. For the most part, a lot of you have already been out of the game for a good amount of time. So just take that in mind. Take everything I said in mind. And that is your general message from now until the 5th of February. Take care, Capricorn, and I will see you on the flip side. Peace out, my Moon Tribe.